Hi everybody. You're not going to believe this, but I'm hurling down the interstate at high rates of speed with my cute sister Cheryl. We have been to Pocatello and we ate at, what was it called? The Red Lobster, and met our brother Bruce there and visited with him. And so we laughed and had a good time. So we're going to read Blossom as we go down the road. Would that be good for you? Remember that Miss Dabney and Blossom are headed to Professor Riggis's, who claims to be a fortune teller or a soothsayer or whatever that is called. Miss Dabney and I settled into our chairs when we got there. It was hard to see. That will be the so-called Professor Riggis, Miss Dabney hissed loudly. Keep your eye on him. Many people looked her way, but they couldn't have seen much more than her motoring veil and that egret feather high over her Queen Mary hat. As I was saying, Professor Riggis said, we must all release ourselves from the concerns and flippery of the day of our lives and to free our souls. Only an unfettered, unthinking soul will rise to the astral plane of the spirit world. Be gone, earthly concerns. Be gone, doubting and thoughts. You can't make out the professor's features, but like many little men, a booming voice made up for a small stature. Some out-of-work Shakespearean actor, I suppose, remarked Miss Dabney. Hush up, said one of the forms near us. This world is full of doubting Thomases, Professor Riggis went on. Some of them of the female gender. But the spirits come to us to dispel doubt and bring fond memories from them translated to a better world. Let no one gather here break the sacred flow of communication. Oh, horse feathers, Miss Dabney said. Compose your souls in patient contemplation, Professor Regis urged. His voice lulled many in the room. People swayed. Is anyone on the other side? He asked in a hollow voice. There was dead silence. I have no doubt Miss Dabney could have crabbed his act with a louder remark, but she held her tongue. Excuse me. A scent of incense curled up from the cabinet. The hall, which already smelled of cheap whiskey coming from the professor, took on a different atmosphere. Draw nigh, spirit of mystery, light bringer from a better world. Still nothing happened. Is anybody there? He thundered. If you're in our midst, make a sign. Rap on this here table. One rap for yes, and a couple for no. He held his little pudgy hands up to demonstrate that he wouldn't be doing the rapping. At once there came a single rap like gunfire. A female voice cried out in the audience. It was Miss Dabney. Aha, said the professor. Now we are moving in the celestial rhythms, mingling our fates with the immortals. Oh, look at the snake river. Isn't that awesome? Drive right over it. He seems to be rubbing his little hands together. Tell me, who has come to lift the veils of darkness from our poor blind mortal eyes? Is it Cassandra of fearful prophecy? 2 raps followed, making us all jump. I see. Well then, is it the Oracle of Delphine? 2 more raps, still more nerve-wracking. Well then, it can only be her who favors me, Professor Riggis, personally with her unclouded vision. Is it little Sybil, whose untimely death generations ago has been conquered by her great gifts? Is it you, dear little Sybil, child of 2 worlds? It was little Sybil, all right. 1 rap followed. At this news, Professor Riggis threw up his arms. His billowing cape covered the cabinet doors behind him for a second. A ghostly presence rose up from somewhere. It was reminded of myself disguised as a ghost in the privy last Halloween night. The figure was small and white, wrapped in glowing gauze. Dare we to hope that you are here, dear little Sybil? The thing in white said nothing, but the table rapped once of its own accord. Ah, there we are favored indeed, said the professor. for it is not at any seance that little Sybil will materialize. Have you got a message for anyone here? The table rapped yes for Sybil. She seemed not to have a mouth. Then speak in whatever manner you choose, and bring comfort to one in this company. The table rapped twice for no, and the professor sighed. You withhold your message because there are low-minded skeptics in this room who stifle your powers. Yes, the table knocked. Then dispel all doubt, dear Sybil. We'd all been concentrating on the professor's words, for little Sybil was suddenly standing at the back of the room near us. She was certainly light on her feet, and many swore later they'd seen her fly overhead. Well, Sybil, have you found an earthling divided by death from a loved one? The table rapped once, and Sybil made her move. Sweeping a white veil, she seemed to float along behind the chairs. Though she'd pop up and down between people, some spoke of hearing the rushing of wings. Her long sleeve swept my arm. I noticed a white hair touched Miss Dabney's cheek. The plume on her hat jerked. Dear Sybil, the professor sang out, is there one here who suffers a loss and a wound never healed? And the table rapped yes, and Sybil came to rest behind Miss Dabney's chair. I could have reached out and touched her, but I didn't. And is this the same member of our sacred circle, a doubter of your powers and mine? Asked the professor. Yes, the table rapped, but softer. And is the doubt draining from her mind and heart? Yes, the table quietly rapped. A bluish-white finger reached out and explored Miss Dabney's hand, but was soon gone. Miss Dabney seemed not to be breathing right. And is this poor soul a distressed lady? Yes, the table rapped. And is it her husband for whom she mourns? Two quick raps of the table denied this. Aha, I have it now. Straight from your sweet spirit, Sybil, this lady mourns her dear papa. Is it not so? One rap thundered through the hall, followed by deadly silence. Several people whimpered. The professor listened to unspoken words, and is there a sacred memento of the dear departed that this sad lady carries on her person or anywhere abouts her? The table replied in a firmament. Hold up the memento, the souvenir of happier days, dear madam. Miss Dabney's fingers fiddled on the catch of her reticle and wondered if she knew what she was doing. She fumbled around and held something up. It appeared to be a man's watch and fob. A white hand appeared in the air and drew it out of her fingers. Oh, what a thing is a divine keepsake that binds two souls across the great divide, the professor intoned. His hands were outstretched, and then Miss Dabney's papa's gold watch was suddenly swinging in the professor's grasp up at the front of the hall. Fleet-footed Sybil had vanished. And is there a message from dear papa who lives eternally on your other side, all-wise Sybil? Another single rap responded, but it was not the table talking. It came from inside the cabinet. Professor Rigas whirled around, seeming astonished, and the gold watch winked once and vanished. And then let this departed papa send word to his dear daughter, whose name swims before my face, but I can't see it clear. Is this devoted daughter's named Ida? And the cabinet knocked twice. Might it be Maud? No, rapped the cabinet. Then it must be Gertrude, shouted Miss Dabney, half out of her chair. Oh, Papa, it is I, Gertrude. Gertrude, of course, rasped Professor Riggins in his whiskey voice. Oh, spirit of Gertrude's papa, speak in the still small childish voice of dear Sybil, the lasting link. Oh, isn't this a good story? I don't know. I have my questions about this fellow, don't you? Oh, I love you. I'm proud of you. Stand tall. Look people right in the eye and greet them. Be kind. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Find out what happens. Bye.